What's up, everybody? We are sitting here in Morgan Hill, California, just one day after the 2020 CrossFit Games is finished, and we're joined by none other than the five-time fittest man in history, whatever you want to call it, the GOAT, Mat Fraser. Matt, thanks so much for joining.
Thanks for having me.
So, less than 24 hours ago, you won your 5th straight title. Just right off the top, what are some of the feelings and emotions that you feel this morning, kind of waking up?
I think the biggest emotion I felt, as soon as we crossed the finish line, as soon as I got to be around friends and family this morning, it's just relief. This whole year was just a roller coaster of uncertainty, delays, and then even once we knew the games are happening, it's the top 5, I had qualified, then there's still this daunting thing over your shoulder of, you can't test positive for COVID. So even if it doesn't matter if you're symptomatic or not, you're still concerned about that. So, Tia and I just had such a phenomenal year of training and overcoming all these things and putting together an attack plan and just working as a team together. I felt like it would just be such a waste if something came up like, you got COVID, your year's done. So that was just a huge sigh of relief that, we got to show off what we've done all year.
And kind of touching on that, you talked about formulating a plan as a team, and I think the final moment that everyone got to saw visually is you and Tia getting to cross the finish line together and enjoy that moment together and share it. And honestly, it was something we've never been able to see before, as far as the finale being both genders going at once. What was that like to be able to share that moment with your teammate and someone that you put in the work with?
It was the perfect ending to the competition. It was the perfect ending to the season. The hours, the days that we have spent as a team, and it really was a team effort. Training, it was Sammy's feeding us, Shane is coaching us. Sammy's taking care of me mentally, Shane's taking care of Tia mentally. Anytime we got a touch of news, if we had a Zoom meeting with CrossFit, it was immediately, we all 4 of us get together, we put the facts down, and we come up with a plan of, this is the best attack plan possible to set us up and give us the best chance. So, as soon as they said Matt and Tia are in the center lanes, for us it was like, okay, this is very fitting.
Nice. Yeah, and maybe talk about the setup all weekend long. Obviously the team is very important. You have a very tight-knit, close group around you that you surround yourself with, and then not necessarily that it got mixed up, but there were some restrictions on having people in and out of the bubble. Obviously, Sammy wasn't able to be right inside the bubble. So what was it like maybe in a year that you kind of have to adapt already to just those little things that you have to adjust to?
Yeah, it was definitely different, but it wasn't like a game changer different, So I hadn't seen Sammy in about a week from when we had to check into the bubble. She was like dropped me off on my first day of school of here's your food, here's your bag, go have fun with your friends.
Yeah.
So Shane had Tia's coach's band, O'Keefe had my coach's band. So, it was a little bit weird not being able to see Sammy throughout the week, but it wasn't that strange because, we don't share a room when I compete. I don't see her during the competition day ever. It's only at night. So once the competition day is done, usually from 8 till 9, she'll come over. We'll just get some bit of quality time to kind of decompress before the next day of competition. But so it was a little different, but we knew what we were getting into. We had a plan for the last month of okay, O'Keefe's coming into the bubble with me, Shane's going in with Tia. So yeah, we knew what to expect to come in, so it wasn't too weird.
Yeah, and it was funny because right before we started this, mattress got carted out.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Get your own mattress there, because I know you guys, you're all about being able to control the variables that you can. and putting those things into place to make yourself or give yourself the most chance of success.
Yeah. Throughout the entire year, I put so much emphasis on quality sleep. I think nutrition and sleep are like the two biggest performance enhancers that you can tap into. So, I've set up my sleep at home so ideally that I can't just like, if a mattress is lumpy, I'm up all night.
Yeah.
So performance sleep, I don't actually work with them. I've just used their product for so long, and so I think it was a couple years ago at regionals or something. The mattress was so bad, and I hit them up out of desperation of like, can you please send a mattress here like right now? And they're like, yeah, that's super easy. Like, and so the last couple years at the games, they'll hit me up before the games like, hey, do you want a mattress? And I'm like, yes, please. So I don't know what the maids think when they walk in my room and there's a mattress leaned up against the wall and then a new mattress on the bed frame. But then every year, I buy my alarm clock, the Dawn simulator, put it in the room. I try to make everything as ideal as possible because so much of the games is just how quickly can you recover. There's so many events in such a short window that like those 2 or 3 nights of sleep are so valuable. So I really spend a couple extra dollars and put in a little extra effort to like converting the hotel room into home.
Yeah, and kind of touching on the recovery aspect and the games this year in particular, what stands out when you think about the 3 days of competition, some of the workouts that you did, and maybe how the body's feeling and everything like that, and what kind of stands out about the programming this year?
Yeah, the programming, there were some workouts that I really liked. I like any of the workouts that have a good combination of like skill work, cardio, and weightlifting. So I forget the name. It was the 4-rounder that we had at the ranch with the running, burpees, and thrusters. Happy Star.
Yeah.
Love that workout. I like workouts that have a mix of everything. There were something like the trail run. Run was it was interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, as a whole, I really like the programming. I'm sure because I did well, I'm a little biased towards it. Of like, yeah, that workout was great. It's like, well, yeah, it's hard to not like a workout that you won. The pool workout, loved it. That was a great mix. I love those ones where it's not just like a 5-minute AMRAP or as quick as possible. It's repeats. The faster you get it done, the more rest you have. But I really like that pool workout. That was the first time for me at the games being in a pool. So, yeah, I like the programming. There were some things that didn't care for, but it wouldn't be a competition if you didn't have events that you didn't care for.
Yeah. And it's funny, touching on the pool thing, and we talked about like during the press conference, like the intimacy of the games and things being a little bit more tight knit, and like it felt like each event there was one of the 5 athletes coming up to maybe like push and give you a little back and forth. And what was that like? Because I feel like maybe with other heats and things like that, you don't necessarily get that experience, almost that one-to-one type. Hey, let's go for it. What was that experience like, even in something like the pool, when you're not really sure your overall standings and you and Quant are going toe-to-toe in that?
Yeah, it's funny. Sam and I were talking about that last night. Sammy brought that up of, like each event there was a different challenger. So something like the pool, I think I definitely whiffed the first round. I think everyone else went out a lot harder on the assault bike than I was expecting. So I think I may have been the last guy in the pool after the first bike. And I was like, I hope I didn't do like too much damage on that first round. So I was very pleased with my performance in that. And luckily, seeing the standings, I think Sam beat me by like 9 seconds overall. So it wasn't just due to that first round of me losing 4 or 5 seconds. Like Sam crushed that workout, big dude. The assault bike never looked like it slowed him down. He was a great swimmer, like he powered through the swim. So props to him on that. But yeah, like there were different events. Jeffrey Adler was chasing me on a couple. He got the win on the total. Super impressive deadlift. He just kind of put on the bar what he thought he needed and went after it. So, but then like the bike workout, that was cool. I didn't realize, like, I think in the first 5 rounds he was a decent amount behind.
Yeah.
So then when we were next to each other, I just assumed I was lapping him and he was a full round behind me. So it wasn't until we were going in for the 9th rope climb that I checked his sign just to double check and be 100% sure that, like, okay, I don't need to worry about him. And then both of our signs had the 9 on it. I went, oh no, I need to go. So, I mean, it was cool. Medeiros kept me company on any of the runs. That was entertaining.
Yeah, I could imagine getting to go out for a run with a 20-year-old, college kid. But that's before we get past the bike, I think a lot of people enjoyed it. And I was watching from home, so a lot of people, I got to see the feedback, enjoyed seeing that moment of the switch flip. Like, oh, this is closer than I thought. And is there some excitement in that, or a little like? Is there a part of you that's just like relishes those moments of getting to, like, all right, let's go full bore?
Oh, 100%. Anytime, I've had a couple moments throughout my career where, like, a kind of, I don't want to say new guy, but someone who's trying to, like, make a name, they, I guess in a way, are kind of throwing up a Hail Mary, and I'll see it and I smile and go, all right, motherfucker, like, you want to try to make a name?
Yeah.
Let's go toe to toe. Like, you put the pedal down, I'll put the pedal down. We'll see who can hang on longer.
That's why I posted that meme. For Fast and Furious.
Oh my God. Yeah, and that was exactly it. Like, if you look at the 9th round on the bike, Adler just, like, pulls away from me, and on the sideline there's a little commentary of his coach and my coach talking, and she was, Jeff's gonna get him, Jeff's getting him. And O'Keefe's just like, there's one more round. Hang on.
Oh, man.
So yeah, moments like that, I'm carrying a pace. Like, I thought Medeiros was gonna be my competition. And I think we were, like, side by side for 4 or 5 rounds. And then it was as I was turning around the far pylon, I was kind of I had landmarks, and I think it was about every round I was gaining about 5 to 10 feet on him. By the time I would whip around and I would see how far away he was, every round I was gaining 5, 10 feet. So I was like, okay, like, don't throw it up into a high gear and, like, be trudging through mud. Just keep the cycle rate fast. Don't burn out the legs, like, burn up the lungs, that's fine. And so when I saw him on the 9th round and I saw how quickly he did the rope climb, I was like, okay. Like, I know these rounds are taking about a minute 5 to a minute 10. I hold your breath and do anything for a minute. So just throw the gears up a couple and just start stomping on it.
Nice. And kind of just like thinking about, reflecting on the weekend as a whole, this is obviously your 5th title. It sets you alone in history. And I know it's not the focus of what you do, but being able to kind of sit here now the day after, maybe a few, In-N-Out hamburgers in your stomach, being able to enjoy the moment. With having some, I don't want to say doubters saying you're slipping a little bit, but being able to basically win the 5th title, to stand up as the first person to do that, and do so in I'll say it, the most dominating performance we've ever seen in the sport, and it goes right up there with some of the best performances in sport. What does it mean to you to be able to have that under your belt in your career as an athlete that's pursuing greatness? I know it's like,
I mean, when I hear things like that, or like anyone hears something like that, obviously, like, the natural reaction is to get fired up and you want to defend yourself.
Yeah.
But I mean, then you're just getting on their level, and what good does that do? Then you just look like 2 idiots arguing. So I mean, I remember one of the first times was I had a competitor tell me in an interview, say, like, I'll never beat Matt in a snatch and he'll never beat me in a run or a swim. All right, well, now it's going to be my goal all year. Every swimming workout I do, I'm going to be dreaming about beating you. And that next year, I beat him in a run and the swim. A couple years later, I had a competitor tell me that I didn't compete well under pressure. Well, he got to watch me compete under pressure while he's sitting in the stands because he got cut. And, you know, and then someone tells me, you know, my performance is slipping. All right, well, you get to watch from the sidelines while I set records.
Yeah.
And I think the funny thing about that was, you know, people assume that because he's in the position he's in, he knows what's going on a day-to-day with the athletes. He's never watched me train. He's never spoken to me about training out. Like, he knows nothing.
Yeah.
So there's that. But then after stage 1, he changes his tune of the reason. The first time it was, oh, he's slipping, you know, he withdrew out of a competition. It's like, well, yeah, 8 years of competing, it's the first competition I ever withdrew out of. Shit happens, you know? It's a sport.
Moving the goalposts a little bit.
Yeah, it's like one competition in 8 years, and I'm trying to do the smart thing to have longevity in the sport. My priority isn't competing on an online competition. My priority is the games. I was trying to be healthy for the games. So because I withdrew from that and like I hadn't competed since January, I'm slipping. So I was like, okay, cool. Phase 1, I win 4 workouts. And then the next interview is, oh, well, no, I think he's slipping because of his age. It's like, all right, I can't argue that. Like, yeah, I'm 30, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. You kind of have to just chuckle at that point and, you know, enjoy the 10 event wins.
The only thing I think is disappointing about all that is that maybe there's someone that listens to him or thinks that he's in the know of, like, the only people that can comment on my performance and be accurate are Shane, Sammy, and O'Keefe or Tia, you know? Like, those are the people that I'm with every single day. Those are the people that know me like the back of their hand.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is what it is.
Hey, and you know what? You get an extra gold medal, another 10 event wins.
I mean, it made for some great memes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you ask him right now, he'll still say, yeah, Matt's slipping. He fucking lost 2 events, so. Who knows?
Man. Hey, proof is in the pudding, man. But kind of looking forward. I know someone asked, you know, what's next for you, and you should obviously taking some personal time and stuff like that to enjoy a life a little bit outside of competing. But after everything that's happened, like in the last 4 or 5 months, what's your kind of outlook going forward to the 2020 season, the community, the sport, everything? After seeing what happened this weekend compared to really what's been the wildest 12 months in the sport and the community ever. Like what's next for the sport, or what's next for me? For you both, and like what's your outlook a little bit? Like, I mean, to preface that, like everyone 3 or 4 months ago was like, well, is there going to even be a sport anymore? And you know, that's.
I mean, in terms of myself, what's next for me? Like, I don't even know where Sam and I are sleeping tonight. So, I mean, what we're doing tomorrow or the next day. I mean, we're just flying by the seat of our pants right now. In terms of the sport. I think it's in great hands. I really look forward to the CrossFit community getting to have more FaceTime with Eric Rosa.
Yeah.
You know, I've been fortunate enough to have hours and hours of phone calls with him, lots of FaceTime with him. I'm really excited to see what he does. You know, if he acts on a fraction of the things that he's talked to me about, I think it's going to be incredible, not only for the games side of the sport, but for the community and actually building it. You know, he has a great team, and he's putting together an attack plan to actually execute and not just winging it like it's been done for years. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope I stay in touch with him about all that stuff.
For sure. Well, man, thank you so much for taking the time. I'll let you get on your floating through the wind without any schedule, man, and congratulations once again.
Thank you.